Good morning, dear student. I'm Reshma Jain, working as an assistant professor in the department of CSE. Today, we are going to learn about software architecture. The topic is architecture business cycle. So, here we learn about what is architecture business cycle. Architecture business cycle. The software architecture of a program computing system is the structure or structures of the system which comprise software elements, the extremely visible properties of those elements and the relationship among them. In the diagram we are showing in software architecture, business, social, technicals, three activities are done in the diagram. In the same in software architecture business cycle, basically software architecture, it is a result of technical, business and social influences. Its existence in turn influences these technical, businesses and social environments. This cycle of influences from the environment to the architecture and back to the environment to it's called the architecture business cycle. Where do architecture come from? The diagram here is one architect who design architecture, who design a system, and architecture influenced by system stakeholders, the developing organization, the background and experience of the architects, the technical environment. Software activities involves creating the business cases for the system, understanding the requirements, creating or selecting the architecture, communicating the architecture, analyzing or evaluating the architecture, implementing based on the architecture, documenting to an architecture. What are the architecture factors that influence them? The architecture affects the structure of the developing organization. The architecture can affect customer requirement for the next system. The architecture will affect the architecture of future systems. The architecture may affect the software engineering culture. So architecture plays a very important role. If we design accurate architecture, then it will reflect each and every phase of the software development. So the architecture should be the product of a single architect or a small group of architects. The architect should gather both the functional requirement and as well as a specified, prioritize list of quality attributes. The architecture should be well documented with at least one static view and one dynamic view. The architecture should be reviewed by the system's stakeholder. The architecture should be analyzed for application, quantitative measures, that is maximum throughput, and formally evaluated for quality measures. Makes a good architecture structure. Every task or process should be specified so that its assignment to a particular processors can be easily changed. The architecture should contain a small number of simple interactions pattern. Modules that produce data should be separate from modules that consume data. The architecture should be independent of particular versions of commercial product or tools. Each module should have a well-defined interface. Quality attributes should be achieved using well-known architecture tactics. Thank you.